Hi, I'm Andrew from Parlogram Auctions, and in this video I'm going to preview a great collection of original UK Beatles 45s, which we've been commissioned to sell on eBay. All of the singles you're about to see will be listed as auctions on our Parlogram eBay ID and will run for 10 days from October the 15th to the 25th. If you have any questions about any of the records, you can contact me via eBay or the website. Links for both are in the description below. So it's on with the gloves and off we go. So let's begin, right at the beginning of course, with Love Me Do. This is quite an early copy, red label of course. And you can see when I hold them up to the light the spindle marks and how much they've been worn. In this case this one's been played quite a bit, but not excessively, and of course the labels are really nice and clean. Also, I'll be taking a closer look at the stamper numbers and the matrices because some of them are quite interesting. Only quite interesting. Some of them are very interesting. This stamper number is 1T and 1H, so no demo stampers there, but that's quite an early copy. Next up is Please Please Me, again in this coloured diamonds parlophone sleeve, backed with Ask Me Why of course. Both the Love Me Do singles and this Please Please Me have the Made in Great Britain text on the labels. This is a really nice copy, not played very much at all. The interesting thing on this one is that it has a JR stamper. JR stamper was only used for demo copies, A-label demo copies, and it's thought to stand for jukebox record, but that's not been confirmed. But it does say it's a very early copy. The A-side matrix, by the stamper number, by the way, is 3GO, so not as early as the other side. And of course, the version of Ask Me Why and Please Please Me on this single was not the same as the album version. This version on this single is known as the Delta Mono Mix, and it does have a different sound and different reverb and an overall different feel, much better in my opinion. This disc has a mark around here. You can see that. I think that's probably made by an overzealous cleaning machine rather than wear from a turntable, but it's still a really clean looking disc with lovely clean labels, and I'm looking forward to playing that. I will of course play grade all these records before listing them on eBay because we want to make sure they sound good. Now this is an interesting one. This is She Loves You, and She Loves You was the first Beatles UK single not to have a red and white A-label demo made for it. I don't know why, but that's just the way it was. So demos actually come in this form. They come as standard stock copies with a red A stuck on one side of the label. And this one has on the other side a factory sample sticker. Factory sample stickers were applied on any single that the factory or somebody wanted to give away for free, so they don't really add a huge amount of value to a single, but coupled with this special A label on the A side does make it quite valuable and interesting. Stamper codes on this one are quite early, not the earliest. I think that's 5 MAM and 5 MOA. Sorry if you can't see these, it's very difficult to position them correctly for the camera. But that's how She Loves You demos would have been distributed from the factory to radio stations and all that sort of thing. Closest you can get to an A-label demo. This sleeve's quite interesting because it's one of the ones which they mistakenly printed electrical and musical instruments on instead of industries. So if you can see instruments coming through the blank there. Anyway, this is a transitional sleeve, and it got reprinted with Industries instead of Instruments a few weeks later. A slightly darker green cover as well, which is a significant difference between these early Parlophone sleeves, the first green Parlophone sleeves, in fact, and then the later ones. We're going to move forward a few releases to the next single, and this is Can't Buy Me Love. Not a very rare single, and in fact one which isn't generally worth a lot of money, because it sold millions and millions. But this one is interesting because it has a 1G stamper. So this is the first one, or amongst the first few hundred or maybe a few thousand off the press. So a very, very early one of which I haven't seen before. I haven't seen one this early before. The other side is 1GMM, so not so early, but that's probably the earliest copy you can get of Can't Buy Me Love. And like She Loves You, Can't Buy Me Love was never issued with a red and white A-label demo. So again, that's probably the closest you're going to get to a white label, A-label demo of Can't Buy Me Love. Nice copy, and as you can see, by the time this sleeve came out, they'd changed the word to Industries instead of Instruments. Moving on to the next release, this is A Hard Day's Night. This is a standard stock copy, but very clean, and as you can see, no spindle marks around the center. And beautiful, clean, pristine playing surfaces. Great sounding single. Next is I Feel Fine. Again, no spindle marks there, not that I can see. Oh, there's maybe one on that side. But sometimes unplayed singles did have a spindle mark on them because when they were in the factory they had to be put onto a stacking spindle, which, you know, you're doing hundreds and hundreds an hour, you're bound to catch one or two with the label. But that's a really nice one. It's got somebody's written the title on the back of the sleeve, which was very common. But again, a beautiful, beautiful clean copy. No special stampers on this, just the one end matrices. Correct for this first issue, and correct sleeve too, with this wavy edged top. This one had a straight edge, this one had a wavy edge, which continued on to the next release, which is Ticket to Ride. Again, I'm just trying to show you how clean these labels are because it's very difficult to find these singles in this condition. They're two a penny basically everywhere, but you know, ones which weren't played are very rare and sound great. Staying in 1965, this is Help. Let's take this one out actually. I guess it's easier to hold. This is Help, and first issue with Parlophone rims. Later ones had gramophone rims, and this matrix is a -1-2. Again, it's an early one. It's I think this is 2M stampers, 2M 1GL. So again, quite an early first issue. Moving to the end of 1965 and Day Tripper. We can work it out with our old friend Fran the Fan on the back. If you look at one of our other videos, which I'll link to here, you'll see the story of Fran the Fan and her friend Kate. This is a first issue again with the Parlophone rims, which changed while this disc was being released to gramophone. But on this case it's Parlophone and it's a first issue. Moving into 1966, the correct dark green sleeve for Paperback Writer and Rain. Huge sounding single, cut really, really loud. It's a -2, is the original -2 and a -2 for this one, and again, No sign of, well, maybe one little mark there, but really beautiful, clean playing surfaces and labels. Right, staying in 1966 and a rare event, a single off an album. This is Yellow Submarine, Eleanor Rigby, pressed with a solid centre. Now, EMI began pressing solid centres in late 1966. Other companies have been doing it before, but EMI started in 1966. This is a really nice clean copy of the single, and it's the first issue, -1-1. Jumping forward a few releases, this collection misses out a couple in its original EMI advertising sleeve, advertising a collection of Beatles oldies and other contemporary albums on the back. This is Hello Goodbye. Again, a fairly standard issue, but in nice condition. This is the Made in Great Britain one. You can get it, which was made in France, but that only has a solid centre. Moving on to the Apple era. This is a contract pressing of the first Apple single, Hey Jude. This 3-spoke centre signifies that it was pressed by Philips Records on behalf of EMI. I mean, it was such a massive single at the time. A few other companies were contracted in by EMI to press this single, CBS, Philips, Decca. But this one carries the regular -1-1 with a small 2 there. Must have been the Philips stamper codes. Mono, of course, in the UK. Another mono single, the last mono single in the UK was Get Back. Get Back, Don't Let Me Down. Again, first pressing matrices, 1U and 1U. The U stood for the fact that it was pressed outside by an outside company, in this case Apple. It was cut by, the cutting was done by Apple, not by EMI. Quite a tough one to find this, actually. Something come together. Really nice solid centre example. Stereo single, of course, by now. That's a 1U and a 1U. There we go. Correct Apple sleeve. Again, there is a slight variation with these Apple sleeves. This one has the sort of wavy edged top, and this one has a straight edged with the cutout on the back. But that's all present and correct. Last Apple single here. This is Let It Be. This is a variation of the picture sleeve, which has got a slightly glossy, well, not really glossy, but not matte, sort of eggshell finish, which was the first issue. They were later just in a very flat matte finish, but this is the earlier type with the slightly shiny finish. This is the rarer push-out centre. Most of these we see are with solid centres, and of course has the crossed out matrices on the back, because the B-side was supposed to be What's the News, Mary Jane, but that was cancelled and crossed out, and You Know My Name, Look Up the Number was put in its place. I think that says Apples 002 or something. Okay, so that's the final Beatles single in this collection. There is one other one, which is here. This is Paul McCartney's theme tune to Yorkshire television series Thingamabob, played by the John Foster and Son Limited Black Dyke Mills Band. From 1968 was Apple IV. Again, a really difficult single to find. Again, the crossed out matrices here. This was going to be 1003 A-1, but became Apple 4A-1 for some reason. And the other side is a instrumental version of Yellow Submarine, again played by the brass band, the Black Dyke Mills Band. A couple of other singles in this collection too, which will also be listed, non-Beatles related, but still really nice. This is a Columbia A-label demo of the Yardbirds, Shape of Things, from 1966. Really pristine demo. On the B-side is You're a Better Man Than I. And being a demo, this of course has one G stampers on both sides. And finally in this collection is the classic Pink Floyd single, Arnold Lane, in its original Columbia Morphy Richards hairdryer sleeve. This is a nice copy, it's an early copy because it's got 1G stampers. So that was the first few hundred records off the press. 1G. Don't forget, all those singles will be auctioned under our eBay ID Parlogram from the 15th to the 25th of October. So good luck if you decide to bid. You won't be disappointed. If you'd like us to sell anything for you, please get in touch via the link in the description. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it interesting. There's more to come soon, but I'll say bye for now and thanks for watching.